Bracket December, I'm at this for. Gonna be doing Mars Logistics. It's 19 stupid streams, the 19th stream Olympics. The stream that is the stream, you know? You know. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, oh no. Let's see if it works. So far, it looks like it's working. I'm not showing up. It works! It didn't go off and do something else. So I'm gonna go ahead and, click on it. There's Mars Logistics right there. Right! Right! Oh crap, I forgot which one today was. Like, yeah. Okay, so today we're doing Mars Logistics with a very stupid machine. This machine. It needs to go in this box. And I need to make this box in such a way that when this machine inevitably falls apart, all the parts retain within this box. So far, this box seems, if I recall correctly, to fit it. Speaking of which, what's the noise on that? I could turn up the noise a little bit. The music's gonna be a little bit louder though. Okay, yeah. I think that should be good. Okay. Just so I can actually keep up with the music situation, just so I can actually tell what's going on. Yeah, that works. Actually, that should be fine. Yeah, that seems to be fine, as far as most goes. I actually turned down on my end. There we go. And this. I remember why I hate this, but the point retains. I think it actually does fit inside of the thing. Yeah. Roughly, but not really all too well. So, I forgot the controls for like a few seconds there because of the way that I handle my mouse work. And my got this. Okay. And we've got it back. Okay. So, we've got to find a way to mitigate the situation a little bit. The main application plan in which to do that would be either to buy 2 more of these, or do the far more logical thing and just replace that with something that works better for that job, unfortunately. Which would then mean using... I didn't have breakfast today. I'm remembering that now. For some reason. That was probably a mistake to not have breakfast. Today of all days. But I didn't have breakfast, so this is gonna be what this is gonna be. This will be one, thank you, and it should already have it set up properly. Okay. So when things go wrong, I won't have an excuse. Hooray. So this is my current plan. My plan probably stinks, but I'm going to pretend like it doesn't for a little bit. We're going to set this up at 2. Because this thing... Even though the, even though the jacks have more power, seemingly? Whoa. They are also somewhat more gentle from my understanding, so it should be something that works out relatively fine. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Somewhat more gentle does not seem to be gentle enough. Mainly, technically it was gentle enough, I just, There we go. I'm actually pretty good with transporting this thing in pieces. Because it's going to be in pieces either way, I don't really have a solution that doesn't bring chunks to the end destination. If I could just get this a little bit higher, then I'd even be able to enclose it, and then the situation would be pretty much better than it currently is. But also better if I could actually, like, spread this out just a little bit further. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get away from the actual restart site. We're going to vehicularly copy this chunk of it. That's wrong. And we're going to... I can buy spare these. it would make things a lot easier. So I'm gonna do that. There we go. This might take a little bit of patience. I think actually I'm just gonna go ahead and press now. There we go. Okay, trying to be careful about this so that I don't end up being a great example of what not to do. Would be rather detrimental to my cause of finishing this today. Although if I raise this by 1, it would make things possibly easier. I got a 5x2 panel and a 3x1 panel, a 3x2 panel. But no. Well, that's technically technically it's possible, and it would make things a lot more design savvy if I did that. If I used my brain. instead of my Buon. Mainly just because I don't really, exercise my Buon enough. For it to be a significant advantage. I think that I can actually probably... No. I have to do it this way. I don't really have those to do that with. Means I need to buy more. Or I do and do something a little bit smarter. I make my life harder. A little bit smarter. Is this forward? Yes, forward. Okay. I'm gonna delete that anyway, but I'm gonna pretend like that was a smart decision for now. Okay, so if I do this, and then I do this, then I can have a far more solid wall that actually extends out pretty evenly throughout the entire structure. And I completely forgot that the point was to keep the color at the front, so I could tell what the front was. Do that. It's only a spare distance, so why not just use the thing that gives me that distance from the bat, from the get-go? That would be the quickest of the solutions. All I need to do is just... Wow. Ah. That's the reason why that's stunk. Okay. Thank you. Go. And I think we're off to the races. Oh. That's actually rather perfect. Orally. I think that I can actually corner this now, because that's actually... Yeah. So if I could get these into the corners, then that probably actually solve a decent chunk of my problems. And then all I need is to find a way to actually cover the entire thing up. Which ain't gonna be easy, but it'll be easier than what I was doing before. So, well, yes, it's something I could complain. Let's not do that. Thank you. It's something that I technically could complain about. Back. Kuni. I believe that there's a 3. But it's 3.5, so that technically is about as good as it's gonna get. Okay. Let's get started with the next few sectors. Ship distance, I think that's wrong. Hey, 4 there. That should be a little bit better. That should allow for this. That should allow for... Ooh. Oh, yeah. It's not properly set up yet. So that doesn't make sense. But the actual core of it... Ooh, I need 5 people. It does seem like it's a lot more likely to serve the purpose. Gosh. I'm gonna get stuck to the center though. Where is it? I know you're there. Yeah, there you are. There we are. Then 2N. And I'm gonna have to do some buying, but if I know my stuff, that's way better. I'm on board. So what's our situation here? Probably going to need to buy anyway, so. I can just buy one for one of these. Again, I could actually speak and make this a little bit better with some other crap. But Well, actually, I should make it better. I'm gonna go down the road and build this. How much fun do I have left? Oh, burned through a lot. More than I thought I did. But to be honest, the fact that this will actually make it a little bit quicker, I don't mind, really, as much as I probably should. Especially since I was planning on actually making things today, and I was trying to save up for that. That does kind of hurt, but gotta be honest, if it saves me from having to have like a little bit of frustration moment here, because this game is very prone to just being agitating for very minimal gain. I think it might be worth it. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just copy my own homework here. Where's the stupid little bearings? Hello there, my darkness old friend. What am I missing? Oh, tubes. I think actually I can just copy that. Still don't have to. At least one. I'll buy that too. These two. Whatever. I'll just remake it from scratch. Do two. I got these things for heaven's sake. Let's use them. I'm gonna save them anyway. Why not use them? In fact, you know what? There we go. Okay. Of course, I'll set this up more properly later. Any smart things to have. What am I out of? Actually. Actually. that. That should do that. That. You ever get deja vu? Like you've done something before? Oh. Front. Front gets color. Back does not. Up. Right. We getting this part. There we go. Actually, you know what? That's another aspect that I can make this better with. Just the tiniest bits. You know what? At this point, I got parts. Let's make it actually flipping functional. Okay. That. You got the speed, you got the legitimacy. Finally, correct? Finally, since we know where forward is, because I put effort into making sure that would happen. We also know what to do with Kratos. Now, what to do with the grappling hooks. Also going to have this be all, this be all, be all. Actually, no. I want this to actually just be one. And then on that, because it's simple to add and might just make it a little bit less agitating that I have to do all this, I'm going to add this. To we got anywhere up here? Yeah. Yeah, we got somewhere up here. Boom. Very know. Could do that, and then stick it somewhere like probably there would be the best, or maybe even here. All. Then, make it G. And speaking of G, I'm also going to add this. Controls. Make it toggle T. And have it output W, just so that I can have like a crazy control. Okay, admittedly, forget to, you know what, I could just have this be something ordered. This is 2. 1. I think I can actually backspace that, yeah. That's what I forget. Yeah. Okay. we go. So, we got things, and okay. Okay. Yeah. This, unironically, may have been some of the wisest investments that I've made in this game. Not really sure this is how suspension should be made or any of that crap, but I am most certainly pleased with the results. So far, no missing pieces. No oddly placed markers, no nothing. Just optimally built cage with some random junk added on top. And spare wheels. For the sake of making sure that I can get there anywhere near a reasonable period for such a short distance. It's beautiful. Now, probably not the intended state that it was supposed to be returned in, but I'm pretty good with that. If they expected anything better, then they should have made better robots. Gonna do this a more practical way, because this is really the only way that's gonna work for this thing, because it's just so big and I didn't really space out the grappling hooks. Which is the primary problem that I'm facing here, but I don't really care. Look, it's even built in such a way that it fits in the cube. Shatter to pieces. Wouldn't you see it all night long? Okay, I can deliver another rocket pen. Or not. What did I get for that? I think money. Yeah, I got money. I got money. So I can get the rocket pen up there. I could also build the monorail. Build power line for long slider. Well, actually, that's a pretty good one. For the long slider, that's probably the best for the long slider that I've seen so far. That's pretty horrible. That's pretty good to deliver paint. Deliver supplies and deliver pipe and build power line. That's the main power line one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Ah, it goes doopy doopy. And this box I'm not gonna replace the cup holder with, but I do. I'm just gonna beg the cage. How many comes out from that? Nowhere near what I spent. Get out the cycle. Problem is now I'm gonna add something. And I did not build this to add a bunch of crap to it. That seems a-okay. What are we dealing with for this thing? You know what? One, big five. So I get 500 buttons before I have to get concerned. Oh. What? I don't like the placement of that. The crap placement. Wow, it turns on and stuff. Okay, so now I gotta deliver generators. So, for a generator, what do I get? 600. Then I can get a water pipe for a tortoise. Means more differential forms of war. Don't see anything that I can deliver power for like 2,537 time about. That's nice and all. I'm not gonna do that. That's a pretty short delivery, but I don't really think that's a good idea. That's a short delivery. I can do that. It's sufferable, but it's exactly that. It's sufferable. I'm gonna deliver the rocket fin real quick, and I'll get to the generator later when I have more space around the place. This is the problem with light builds. Well, yes, I now have actually speaking do light builds. I also now have to figure out how to build it light. Or else it doesn't work. How to fit everything where I desire. The age-old question. Can't really do that. Can't really do that. Can't really do that. Whatever. That's just a delivery spot. I was like, they're gonna make it difficult. No, nope, they're not. So, if we go over to insects, I think that might be able to... I mean, it will be able to. Yeah. Should be able to do that just fine, so I don't really see the reason to complain. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. One. Probably be easier to actually just go up here. And what we got here? Yeah. There we go. So we're making a multi-stage walk-in. Empty fuel tank. What do I get for the empty fuel tank? Fuel pipe. Now I got a fuel pipe. How about it deliver the tortoise? It looks mechanized. Let's see what we actually have to deal with this thing. Don't really need to do that. Technically. Okay. What are we talking here? Like, is this super destructible, or is this just... Oh, look, it actually moves to check up on you. That's cute. Like, particularly, this is something that's pissing me off right now, so I'm fixing it. Enter? Retract. And then I'm also going to convert that, so that's... Activate those, and make this one enter, and this one. Oh, that's so cute. Go. Well, it seems to be staying intact, so I'm just gonna stick with it. This one does not seem to fall into little pieces. Let's just go with it. I'm just gonna be honest here. There we go. Although I could technically like try and make space and shift no, I don't got a great control on this. So, what we got here? We got Marching Turtle. Points that are movement tactics are wildly unorthodox. Whatever will I do. definitely one of those moments where I realize that I'm being somewhat stupid. There is literally a way over here. I can fit under minor adjustment. Go on, turtle. Be free. Be free. Boom. First, can't get my grapple notes. Whatever would I be able to do if I did my grapple notes? Ah, habitat. I've been kicked out of the habitat. Am I not allowed back in the habitat? Looks like I'm not allowed back in the habitat. Okay, I've not been allowed back in the habitat. So that job, I got a new job to do the fish fetcher. Send that to Fishery Church. Nobody on the comments application. I might end up accidentally starting up a new thing or something, but I don't know. I could just travel there. So, did I change this? No, I didn't. No, I changed these. Do one to make them space shift. Just so that, like, these situations where, like, I wanna do that. Actually works pretty well for what it is. Okay, so I gotta build a pipe from here to there. Okay, so first off I'm gonna save this. Then I'm gonna go over to the Octobike, Octocycle. Re-implement my dastardly device. Method 2. And just fire procedure to G. Over to this. Turn this to space because that makes more sense. Although I could just have it DG. And then just put it 1. Okay, so that's roughly what I'm trying to build here. I am enjoying the cruise control and the requirements of my finger here. Wrong one. Okay, so I do occasionally slip and turn on photo mode. That is one of the weaknesses of this design, currently. Okay. Okay, off that. Then. Must be that. Fish fetcher. Oh. What are we talking about here? Okay, so at least it looks nice. So I have to deliver a fish. Where is this fish? It concerningly enough seemed underwater, but it also seems like the underwaterness of it is somewhat exaggerated. We will see who is correct in that matter. So. Okay, so I have to stop, save new octocycle, go here, add new fish fetcher. with new fork parts. You could have stuck this on a forklift, but no, instead you stuck it on this for whatever reason. Still seems to have added some of these, so I don't know how much I really want to complain. Oh, there's new bearing type. There's a new bearing type. What do we got here? Telescopic cylinder. Okay. Okay. Well. Thank goodness I reset the defaults, which I did do, FYI. So, I can just have this all be one. I can just fetch the fish. It kind of feel weird. But at the closing end of it. Only one channel. Can't get out of this rut. Your fish fetcher leaves much to be desired for fetching a fish. Okay. Why is it outside of the port? How am I supposed to... Why does it spawn there? Okay. can't actually all that fast, so it might just be preferable in certain applications, but I don't know if this one's it. Like, I like the cylinder. Cylinder thing is actually pretty good. But due to the fact that I'm about to take on a massive journey to wherever the heck it's gonna send me, I'm gonna go ahead and just equip myself accordingly. And then I'm gonna go ahead and equip myself even more accordingly. I'm joking, I'm not gonna do that. Man, just about. Just about. That's all I got for today. Goodbye. That's what that is. That's all that's gonna be for today. Anything else that I want to do real quick? Real quick. I don't think so. Well, I do like this. How expensive is it? $450 versus... Like, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's a lot smaller. And it's way cheaper than a heavy-duty jack. But at the opposing end of it, a heavy-duty jack, I've got plenty of already. Oh! Always Lost is here. Howdy. Howdy to you too. Currently, I am... What was it called? I am fish fetching. I am concerned with how I'm going to pronounce that in the future, but for now, I am safe. So, I am currently fish fetching. I am a fish fetcher. That is my profession for now. Fernandez. Of course, this was not really built to catch the fish in this way. Thankfully, I also... alternative methods, which seem to have failed me. So, we are going to figure out a better method than my alternative method, which failed me. I'm gonna probably just go ahead and cut this, flip that, block this, flip that, put on a jumper, put on a jumper. The fact that I freaked out when I was called jumper and yet it's actually being something that I'm using this much is slightly hilarious. Speaking of which, apparently I have enough on Spy one of these too, but I could also keep... Yeah, just for the sake of it. For the sake of it. Okay. In fact... Okay... I think that's correct. Yep. Got it. So it should still... Yeah. On guard. It's definitely meant more for gripping than what I was using prior. I'll be honest in that front, in that regard. Speaking of which, I can just use these to actively help out my ability to navigate the foreign lands, these wastelands of Mars. So fishing. This is just one of those claw games. I'm asking how we came up with the word for fish fishing. Apparently. And yes, this is somewhat, whatever. I'm gonna keep going up this hill. This is somewhat a ridiculous game in some regards. Though I actually do find that some enjoyment inside of the actual manufacturing application, where I actually do have to, like, build things for a solution to a problem. But then some of the solutions don't work for ridiculous reasons. Like the paint can fading through the paint can. Or paint can fading through me. Collision seems to be optional in this game sometimes, and that's my main frustration. Other than that, like, it's actually a pretty decent game as far as the actual, like, vehicle creator. In theory, it is very fun. In execution, there are some complications. I think that's the best way of saying it. I'm about to stick this in a water reservoir, which I don't really think fish are supposed to go in water reservoirs, but I'm not gonna pretend like that's the first odd thing I've found in this game. Because it's not. Like, these are forks. The thing that's holding this fish in is called a fork. Like from a forklift. And now always wasp is orange. My brain. I took my brain for granted and now it's left me. Oh, I'd have to take it to the stinking... Oh no, I misunderstood. We're not sending it to the water reservoir, we're sending the fish to the turtle. This fish ain't gonna make it. Hope you weren't too attached. Oh, that's why there's also the electromagnetic boots on this thing. Where there was prior to me removing them. They expected you to need them. That's quitter talk. Go ahead and there we go. Okay, how long before it gets eaten? Yet again, I've been kicked out of the sinking habitat. For some reason, they don't seem to think that I'm natural to the terrain. But don't I look like a Taurus? They've been made aware of my non-Taurusy nature. They've closed it off again. But does this mean that I can actually just enter through the door? Yep. Oh, I can't enter through the door. The habitat's locked off. Huh. That is the wrong button. So I can get a honker. I can get a honker. Huh. I do like... I'm not gonna make that, but I... There is temptation. We're gonna get honkers, guys. We're gonna get nice, big honkers. For our robot. Drawing you right out like an Amazon delivery man would do. Arse. Yes, they did. They threw me out and told me to go get honkers. I'm gonna go blow my nose, because I'm sad. They don't like me unless I have giant honkers. It's a good feature. So the whole game is about delivering packages. Is this a strand type game? More, okay, I don't know what a strand type game is, but I do know that this game's mainly based off of effectively trying to do, Boston Dynamics? Effectively, it's kind of trying to be that, but then it also has these BI missions where you build structures. So, like, you saw that pipe over there. You see that pipe? I built that pipe, but I didn't build it by, like, delivering those pieces slowly but surely. There's a thing called a Theite. Where's the Theite? Where is my Theite? So, like, since I should, yeah. You can see, I can just do that, and then it builds this real quick. And then I can just connect these structures for no good reason. But yeah, that's about it. It's a building, and delivering type game. Except it's supposed to be like physics-based, which is the main advantage. Let's go get some honkers to appease the game, because apparently we just didn't have... We were apparently required to have more honkers. It is apparently a necessity. So I'm going to go ahead and change out my Octocycle. You may have saw the cage there because it's kind of a giant box. That's because it's a giant box. Might shock you, but it is quite an... Well, I wouldn't call it... Well, yeah, it is an efficient design, but it's an efficient design for big, breaking things that fall to pieces way too quickly. Why is that thing floating around? Why is the thing floating around as if it's a sinking floaty thing that I have to pick up? I do not have floaty thing picking up skills. Can I, like, kill it? Oh. Do I have anything that's, like, gonna help me with this? Idiot. So wait, like, this is an actual point on the map? Okay. Deliver the escaped butterfly. So far, the atrocity seems to be the most apt for the mission. If you expected me to be gentle, wrong day. That is supposed to be a refraction of Kroll, not a refraction of... Don't like the song. Too cheery. We'll destroy. I do question what I'm really supposed to do here. Like, okay, what if I use the cage? Is this like a legitimate tactic here? Does not seem so. Like, so I can't actually grapple hook the bug. How do I make this work? Oh wait, now I got a solution. There we go. All I need to do is spook it inside. Wouldn't mind, like, getting in there, please? would please, like, get inside. I would like to spook you inside. That, or you can be consumed. I forgot that this thing can't actually consume. It's got to, like, tell you stupid things. Here's the sponge. Let's get that. Okay, so if we do this. Yeah. Like, how am I supposed to... How's it supposed to work? Exactly. Because so far, like, what I'm kind of trying to do is just be lucky, effectively. But I don't like being just dependent on luck. Okay. Okay. Please get inside of the vehicle. I'd appreciate that. So I need to make a capture box or something to just, like, hold them in. Which I can technically do, but that'll take a while. Yeah. I don't know if we can get that on upper goods. Nothing, just a meme about Death Stranding. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Death Stranding is a probably decent comparison. Well, it's kind of similar. How strong is the gravity here? Well, let's do an experiment here. We got this pneumatic cylinder. Just set that to 1. It's really dependent on the moment, really, because this game doesn't really have that reliable of physics, but you kind of get the idea. It has effectively, like, no gravity when it's, like, picking stuff up and stuff, but the minute that you add a physics out, just giving it kind, it tends to start ejecting very quickly. That's my experience with it. I could be dead wrong, but it tends to be what I face. Well, technically I could do this. There. Yep. Seems about right. Okay. It's a game called Death Stranding, not a person. Yeah, I know. I know about Death Stranding. It's the game where you're a mailman, if I recall correctly. More like a package deliverer, but there's, I mean, that's the same difference territory, so I'm not going to sit down and be a nurse about it. I don't think that there's a way to just make this go quickly, I don't think. Could be dead wrong, but I'm pretty sure the way that this works, I'm probably going to just need to be next to the thing and just capture it, which I don't know if I want to do even on camera. Like, there's not a reliable way that I can find to get this thing to go inside of this bucket. So I'm just going to actually abandon this for now. I wonder if I'm going to... Like, I can't abandon it because it's a stinking thingamabob, but... I could try that, but I do have things that I wanted to do, like this, which is a very short, like, build mission. So I'm gonna do that one first, because I know that I can actually do that. Wise, transfer over to Octocycle. I'm not gonna mess with the, butterfly anymore right now, because I don't really have good equipment to deal with it. I could try and finagle something, but that's gonna take forever. There we go. I had the thinking thing over here. Remember, reverse now. Actually, that's the whole thing. Restarting. I don't know why I actually spent all this time. There we go. Well, that seems to have built itself. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if I like that. Also, it does seem to do full refunds when I actively do, like, refund the D8 build, so that's why I'm doing it so often. I'm trying to be efficient about it. And I'm just gonna actually turn on sync and cruise control. There we go. Forgot that I had cruise control on. Too far away from connecting structure. Okay, 0.7 kilometers. I could do it 500 meters out. Speaking of trying to make it efficient, Where's the stupid monorail thing will bob when you need it? Okay. So where are we going? The wrong direction, that's where we're going. Okay, that is a level of stupidity that... Anyway, now that I've done that, time to go the opposite direction. Did you destroy that one too? Yep, okay. Okay. At least out of that. There we go. Okay, just a little bit further. One day you will have a vehicle that doesn't get stuck immediately. One day. Well, actually, this one doesn't get stuck too bad usually. It's just occasionally it does. There's one that's a little bit better, but it has less features, so But yeah, if I wanted to not get stuck, I could just go with the Little Chaos, which doesn't really get stuck ever, to my understanding. I've never really seen it get stuck that badly, but it has a few less features. So unless I could do that, meh. Kilometers. This is gonna be a long trek. Sure. Might need to collect some resources though. Then fly. before. Kind of want to rotate around the sector, so yeah. And of course, we kind of want to extend out above, so let's try and ride this edge. Yeah, for as long as we can take it. Here we go. There we go. And let's give this thing a little bit of height here so that it'll be a little easier to connect in other stuff. Okay, so left, right. That's sufficient. Let's go a little bit further this way. Okay, that's a little too much. 500 out of 500. Second. Don't need to do that so quickly. Yeah. Probably should put some down. This is where things get concerning. How far down is this? It's just concerning frame. That's just fine. Okay. What do we got? Yeah. And to be clear, like, most vehicles that I designed probably could go better than this, but the fact that I made it like a cycle is mainly the issue. Because there's not really a bunch of solid pieces that don't... Like, most of the pieces are thick on the outside of the wheel shaft, so that makes it a lot easier for things to catch. You know what I mean? It actually has like a mass to it, so like you can see it rests on its side. That side can also catch something, and that makes it hard to get through some of this terrain. But like the little Atrocity, the little Chaos, has most of the wheels on the outside, which is what allows it to get through the terrain that the Octocycle really can't in the same way. Not to mention the little chaos has less going on, which actually is part of the reason why it can work so well, because this, you can see there's a lot of protruding parts, including a camera that I don't use. And that's another part of the problem. Like, camera protrudes out, the V8 protrudes out, the mining laser protrudes out. So yeah. I could build it more efficiently, but then I'd have to take things off, and then I'd look a little bit less pretty. It'd look a little bit less pretty then. Make me say. Okay. But it is something that is, like, partly aesthetic. Not majorly aesthetic, like, I still feel like a mining laser is probably a smart idea. I don't like it because the game mechanic I feel like was done badly, but it's a simpler solution to mining real quick that I can just have on the side. Give me one thing that I'm doing. Let's see. Look like that. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna reset this. That is the wrong thing. Yeah, just reset. Yeah, I think I'd spend the time, make it right, and all that stuff. Got on the rest of it, but I don't think that people want to watch that in the same way. Now this is the part where the sinking grapple nuts like kick in. Given that they actually kick in. There we go. Okay, apparently they do not want to kick in the way that I want them to. Let's just reset it. There we go. I don't want. Yeah, it's only been 7 minutes. I should get going to waken someone up so that they can start string stuff. Speaking of which, it has the perfect balance, I see why. Which is kind of ironic if for its name. So what games do you usually play anyway? Currently, the game that I usually play is Blender, which is my Rage game. I've actually picked that back up now that I have it on the Linux computer. Which, to be clear, like, when I say that I have it on the Linux computer, it's not that I added more RAM so it, like, works better. It's that I, like, currently have, I think it's 3.0 on Blender, and the current generation of Blender is 5.0. So, like, I've got a downgrade technically, but that's why I can work on my computer. My little computer, because it's an older version of Blender. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a littler computer, but it's an older computer. It's just refurbished. Like, it's a computer that we actually started streaming on, so, like, that is its own issue. And then, like, it started having problems itself, and then I switched to Linux, and that solved that problem. Because it couldn't switch to Windows 11, which my siblings freaked out about. Which then meant that we switched to a new computer, which is the one that I'm currently streaming on. But then I have a little private computer that I can have that lets me have Linux, which I actually do like. And Linux doesn't have the whole, like, switching to new hardware requirements to continue using their OS problems like Windows does, so. Also, it doesn't, like, have features that it forces you to have, so. There are some advantages to Linux. At the opposing end of it, you do have to use GIMP, which Some people object to. Personally, really, that's my experience with a proper, like, art designing, what would you call it, like, a picture editor. Aww. Do you lose GIMP? Yeah. Do you use GIMP too? Too far from connecting structure. Let's see. Girl, I'm just gonna put and we're just gonna put that there. A little bit scrappy, but yeah, it is what it is. Scrappy Dappy Doo we'll have to make do with. Okay. Ooh. So, like, if I, for instance, I don't know. Yeah, no. I have to shoot. Not all that difficult, but well, actually, maybe I could. Makes me ask, do I need this? I just like. Okay. That's how it works. That's how it works. I don't know, like, are those... Yeah, I don't think those physics out. Yeah, no, they're not collision bases, so it should be fine. Is this an active roadway? No. Okay, that solved that. And I got rid of some roadway garbage. So almost got the long slider completed. Can deliver some stuff for some stuff. I can deliver some cans for a curve. I might be able to do that actually pretty easily, but that is not something that I'm going to risk right now. I'm in the middle of a mission now. Oh. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and do that. So that's 400, that seems to be a pretty... Oh. Oh. Can Thank you. Now I got a long slack. And I earned some... So yeah, other than that... Well, I have two laptops. One is a good one with a broken hinge because of MS. Sorry. Well, I have two laptops. One is a good one. Broken hinge. Laptop and the other one thought it would be fun. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say that Linux is fun. Except for the time... Okay. So, okay. You got one crappy laptop with a Linux on it, because thought it'd be fun. Is it just me, or when the snapshots happen? Like, are you... Okay. Personally, I'm Linux Mint, as far as it goes, so, like, my distro is Linux Mint. And because I have 8 gigabytes of RAM, when the snapshot occurs, my computer is effectively just frozen for that period. That's my experience. That's what, like, has been pissing me off about my Linux computer, because I've, like, set it to where the Linux computer, like, snapshots as few times as possible. Because I know that's, like, a super annoying thing to deal with for me. That's a little shtick that I had to, like, deal with. And even then, like, whenever it occurs, it's, like, the worst moment. It's like I hit render on, like, a video I just edited, and then it's the snapshot right then, every single time. It's reliable. Not every time I render, which is why I still render on that computer. But, functionally speaking, like, if it's, like, I'm starting to download something, if I'm starting to render something, that's usually when it's going to happen if it's going to happen. Which is just so frustrating to deal with. Also, I got all the sliders now. You like little hamburgers? I got sliders for you. Speaking of which, like, I know my... Yeah. So I could use some sliders and stuff. And of course I could, but besides the point. Anyway, I hope that the Linux Mint has been treating you a lot better than it's been, like, treating me, because generally speaking, I've been enjoying it. And actively speaking, it's a great thing for when it's great, but, like, when those few moments when a snapshot occurs... Which typically, like, a snapshot is, like, when your computer's saying, hey, it's time to, like... I think it copies the entirety of what you've been doing. So that's what the snapshot is. So that, like, if you get hacked and you have to, like, replace your computer, you got, like, a copy of what it was prior to the virus installation. Or prior to, like, a severe crash, or if, heaven forbid, your files get, like, corrupted. I think that's the purpose. The porpoise. I use full porpoise. Either way. Unfortunately, I've been spending too much time on this. So it's about time for me to actually, like, quit now. How far is the delivery point? 3 meters. I could do it real quick. But I have to use the atrocity. I'm not gonna think and, like, play this game of, like, oh, this, that, and the other. It should work like this, it should work like that. I should be able to grab the hinge. The hinge is a lie. And actually, I'm pretty good with that. Go ahead, be your genius party self. I'm going to reset you. You think you're gonna cause me all this havoc and crap? You can go ahead and think that all you like, but I have dealt with your kind before. Well, as I've dealt with your kind before. Well, I can... However, I'm also going to be realistic about things here. Realistically speaking, I'm probably not going to have enough grip. With just one claw. But I can most certainly correct that aspect. Rather quickly, in fact. Okay. Copy that, click that, swap that. and prepare to meet your capture. You will be captured. You will be detained. You will cooperate. That's the consequences. Or you will suffer from my stupidity. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna pop this down and flip you about. So I'm on my back currently. Didn't really intend to do that. I think that's probably better. So let's go ahead and do that. Why is it that this thing cannot actually pull off? Yeah, I'm gonna have to flip that. There we go. And this should be something where I can actually just lock that. Ignorant of how much it wants to complain, it is not allowed. Okay. Definitely feeling the decision to make this thing. Okay. There we go. That is not the direction I want that to go. Thank you. And where the heck am I going? Can you please? Thank you. I remember why I lowered down the audio for this thing. Anyway. It's not hard to remember, it's trying to remind me. Okay. Okay. This is beyond pathetic. That is not the button that I was trying to press. Oh, actually, that might be able to. Yeah, there we go. Can you please? It is not cooperating whatsoever. There we go. There we go. Why? Okay. Stupid paint bucket. Okay. So, I haven't had too many issues with it. I basically underclocked it for better battery life. Yeah, that's cool. It would be wise for me to underclock it as well, but I do want to use Blender on it, so I don't think I can. I might be able to, but I don't think I can. But as far as I don't know people's dues for it. I think I got some money out of it anyway. Basically, the hinge is too tight and basically explodes randomly. Which is, if I found an issue, it was even on their support page. Oh! Well, I'm sorry that you had to suffer through the hinge issue, but I mean, I'm glad that it seems to be something that you're still willing to use the laptop with as well. That's good. But yeah, I'm sorry that you had to face the hinge complications. After all, exploding hinges do not sound like a preferable situation. Even if it's not combustion, the nature of a hinge is supposed to be intact. An intact structure, not really one that is... I'm fighting for my life over here with a flipping paint can. It does not have my best interests at heart. Oh, something. It has buried my grappling hook into the dirt. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. Thankfully, I've got my way back out. Okay. Gosh. I hate this stupid paint can. But yeah, like, you might be like, oh, just grab the hinge, because not the hinge, the handle. There's a handle on this paint can, you might be like, oh, well, it's easy to grab that. And you can't actually grab it until it, like, the collision fails. So this is the one that I was complaining about the collision failing on. It is literally faded through the entire grip that I had on it one time. So yeah. That is what we call a grappling save. Why this the way that this is, I do not know. All I know, yeah, you can see it's starting to kill my friction because it's lifting the front two tires. Come on. There's literally less than a full kilometer left. I don't know what the full kilometer is, but it's gotta be, like, not that big, right? That can't be that big. It's not worth it to fight me for a kilometer. Is it, you stupid paint can? Gosh. I'm a core with a stupid rotor. Doesn't know where it's supposed to go. All it knows is where it wants to go. And me and the rudder does not agree. Okay, come on. Oh yeah. Final stretch. Of course. Okay. Okay. Let's get you down nice and as soon as I can. Come on. Not gonna fight you much longer. Here we go. What did I get for that? I don't know. The grappling hook got me. Oh, I got a 2x2x2. That looks interesting. So, with that noted, I'm gonna go ahead and reset the atrocity. It's more like it will pop within itself, and it literally all I have to do is loosen the hinge. Looks like it's function fine to me. Yep. So, like or dislike, as you will have subscribed, welcome to the ride. Don't, it's not fun, I'm gonna have to cut it off here. I'm sorry, Lost. Do you wanna say goodbye real quick? I don't know if you said goodbye real quick, but I'm gonna say toodles! And I'm gonna shut it off. Yeah, he said bye. Okay. So, stopping this one. Actually, I'm gonna. That's the wrong button. What the crap am I doing? There we go. Toodles! Wrong button McGee I am.